Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of How to Build a Game Studio. I am Trevor Oz, and I am joined by uh, some guy we found somewhere. Kent.
I
What's
was
up?
gonna say, which one of us is that? Hello.
Eh. and uh, and the best programmer that any team could ever have, Jack Steele.
What's up, guys?
I hate you. I hate this. I quit.
Well, Jack, it looks like you've just been promoted.
I was just kidding, Ken. Yeah, come back.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until you get all my planner tasks.
Yep, exactly.
It's quite a lot of tasks. So, yeah, it's been a little bit since we've had a chance to sit down and do a podcast. You guys have been working a lot, a lot. So, Kent, what do you want to talk about in regards to that? Because we've been trying to we've gotten to our alpha phase, but it took us a bit of time to get there. Uh, so
Yeah, so we're pretty much we just made our alpha build. I can't remember exactly. Sometime last week, Monday, Tuesday. Who knows? Was it this Monday? Wow, time is
yeah,
meaningless. So yeah, we just made our alpha build. And so basically what that means for us is we pretty much have all of our features complete, which is cool. Have a lot of content still left to do, which is kind of where we're at now. But aside from kind of getting all the features done, um, we got some builds out to some people. We will, of course, once we get to beta, that's when we'll be doing our actual, like sending out a build and everything to all of our backers that want to try it out again and kind of see where the build is at. And yeah, just it's pretty funny to play kind of that pre-alpha demo that we released last year alongside the Kickstarter back to back against the current alpha build, because man, is it night and day. Like
yeah.
we have vast improvements, so I'm pretty happy with kind of the state of the build. Um, but yeah, like you said, it also, coming up on that milestone is a big one. So it had a little bit of crunch, a little bit of lot of hours. Was not able to quite do any podcasts, but I think we'll settle down a little bit again until we get closer
Hmm.
to our beta.
Yeah,
And we
and
have some really interesting news that we're not quite ready to share yet, but it's kind of related to this, and if it all comes together, it's going to be pretty incredible. So
yeah, we should know in the next month or two. So definitely, potentially some big news. Uh,
Yep, big things coming.
once we get to that point of being able to share. So, uh, what do you think the biggest challenge for you was in this past month, Kent, for getting us basically into from the pre-alpha into the alpha?
mm, it's really just kind of time constraints. Like it's hard getting all that done, and it it was easier, when I was 20, 25,
Mm.
like younger, had no, like I have familial obligations now, which, eat up
Well,
some
yeah, yeah.
time.
So you have a young daughter.
I
Uh,
do.
how old is she now? She's
She's about a year and a half.
yeah. So
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 yeah,
I'm sure
she's
that
officially toddler state. She like runs around and talks and wants to play and hang out and stuff. It's no longer the time when she's just like, a blob when she was a
it's no
couple
longer
months.
just eat, sleep, poop, repeat.
Yeah.
You know.
Eat, sleep, poop, yell at dad, repeat. So yeah, and then I mean, also I'm just old now, so like back in the day, I remember at IE I had my longest term was a 37-hour shift, and now I can barely do 12 hours without feeling exhausted. It's sad. Past my
Well,
prime.
and you think about it. I mean, there's always the discussions within the games industry of how a lot of people don't stick around long. And you could say that's probably part of the reason. Would be
Definitely.
just as you get older, it's harder to do those longer hours. Um, as you've learned firsthand, even when working on your own stuff.
Caffeine only helps to a certain point, and then your
Yeah.
body's like, "Nah, I'm done."
Yeah, eventually
to
you hit a
bed.
wall. Yeah, you can't work anymore.
Yeah, your body is definitely once you're once in your 30s, because I'm getting there, I'm there too. So it's like there's a certain point where it's just like no,
Yeah,
you
as
can't do
soon as
this.
you turn 30, your body immediately becomes shit.
Yeah.
That's sorry if we have any 29-year-old listeners.
It's coming. Yeah,
Just
as someone who's just recently entered their 30s not too long ago, it's true.
the day of your birthday, it's just like, oh, done.
It was
You can feel the change.
It was about 31 for me, Jack. So maybe you'll have that time too.
Yeah, well,
so,
that's what I'm 31 now.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, still
uh,
early 30. But
It's done.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a
I'm there.
chance now.
It's already over.
yeah, it's the end. The end, my friend.
Damn, you're 31?
Yeah.
31.
36?
Man.
37? Wait, what year is it?
It's 2021
God.
right now.
36 years old.
Yeah, it's so
Ancient.
and it's so weird to think of Jack as a 31-year-old. And like it's just because when we used to play the tabletop game, I mean you like literally we would have to wait for your parents to drive you over after high school.
Mhm.
Like you were like 14 years old, uh, coming and playing D&D with us, like not even able to drive yet, hanging out with us who were like college age kids.
Yeah, I was definitely the baby of the group.
Yeah, so it's definitely kind of weird to see you as an older person now. So it's definitely one of those things where it's just, man, time goes by so quick. It's uh this
You
is the
broke
old
Trevor.
cast now.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm,
I'm sorry. I'm so old, guys.
you ruined me.
We can't move past it, Jack. You are so old.
I get it, guys.
This podcast is over.
The problem is that if you're old, Jack, then we're all older.
Nah.
So
Nah.
Yeah, it doesn't quite follow. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jack might age at 1.2 times speed.
well, yeah, that would make sense.
What would it?
No, it doesn't, because that's not how time works. Unless Jack has some sort of magical power that we don't see.
It's a shitty magical power.
I just age faster.
That's your superpower.
Yeah.
Oh man, you definitely got the short end of the superpower stick.
Yeah, like the worst possible one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Marvel's lesser known hero. Aging man.
So working on the getting us into the alpha phase, did you have any challenges yourself, Jack? Because at least for you, your challenges might be a little bit different because you're also juggling another job alongside what we're
Yeah,
doing.
I would say it's still pretty similar that it was like time constraints between like working full time and planning a wedding currently, and then
Mhm.
working on the game. Yeah, there's a lot to do in a short amount of time. Because like usually my standard is, kind of full, like my normal schedule, and then crunch time comes around, and you're always moving, always doing something.
Yeah, I can see you're just you're like throwing cats out of the way. Leave me alone. I can't pet you now.
I know I do
have
have
to
a lot
work.
of cats, but I got to make time to pet the cats too. So that's
Pet
one
with
thing
one hand,
I
pet
can't
with the
cut from
other.
the schedule. Yeah.
You gotta make sure. Gotta make sure. But luckily, I mean, they'll just come around. They'll tell you when they need you.
hmm
So
Yeah, I work from home a lot, so I'm in a lot of meetings with a cat in my lap. So
makes sense.
yeah, I'm
I
pretty used to that.
It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but I do. We have definitely encountered
Oh yeah, I think
before we
even on
had
the
video and
podcast.
we were
Yeah.
just calling, and then all of a sudden you just hear this purring start happening, and you're like, "What,
Yeah.
Jack? Are you purring? Do you really like what's going on right
Jack's in a good
now?"
mood. Yeah.
Jack definitely purring. So with that, Kent, were there any features that maybe you finished up that you'd like to talk about? Um,
Hmm.
at least that we can't talk about yet.
There's one that I want to talk about, but we're not quite ready there yet. In fact, Jack's going to be working on kind of like taking care and polishing that up to final version soon. No, I don't think so. I mean, kind of the main push, I think, for me, aside from getting a lot of like, there's a lot of under the hood stuff that's not really like a glamorous feature, to share. But like just a ton of little stuff that kind of like when it all comes together really makes the whole experience feel better. Like, we have proper pathing on the map screen. It's it's a little thing, but like it adds so much to it, because before we just had these like arbitrary, like, you're going from this point to this point in a straight line right over the mountains, who cares? But now actually following the road and things like that was really nice. And yeah, a lot of the features that were kind of like the best feature to work on were just these stupid little things, like the confirmation state when you select an action, like canceling your movement. It's like all these little tiny things that don't seem significant, but then once you get like 30 of these tiny little features done, then it adds a lot. Because obviously with the pre-alpha demo, we had a lot of our like core features done
Yeah.
because we wanted to show what the game was going to be, right? Like that was important. So, but kind of like these tiny little things fell on the wayside, and like
Mhm.
that's been the focus from pre-alpha all the way through the alpha. Has just been like there's been a few bigger features, here and there, but like a lot of it was just these tiny 3-4 day little features. There's just a ton of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can say firsthand playing it, playability has gotten a lot better. Like it feels like a modern, tactical RPG. So yeah, I can't wait till we can actually maybe put it into some people's hands and show them what we're working on at the very least. So that should be fun. So looking forward to us being able to do that, which will hopefully be sometime in the next few months as we gear up and get ready. We're still in the process of trying to also get us an animator, which we
Yeah, we had
appreciate.
some ups and downs on that avenue, but it's looking pretty promising. So hopefully the next time we do one, we'll be able to tell you who it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say we definitely have some candidates in mind. So thank you to anybody who reached out and answered our want ads uh, as we were looking for the animator. So we definitely have some options out there, and we're gonna be talking to some people, and hopefully we'll find the person that's right for us that'll be able to turn Moody's art into something cool. So
It's all about them dance moves.
exactly. Uh, all right, this podcast is done forever after that, and
Whatever, I'm
thank you
changing
guys.
it into Kent's dance move podcast.
uh, so uh, so during that time, that you guys were crunching away. a little thing that happens every year, most years, I should say. Maybe not last year, but most years there's this little thing that happens in June called E3. Uh, that does go on. And this year, yeah, it was. I would say it's definitely. I liked it better than last year, just because everything wasn't so spread apart, and it was just kind of all happening at once. But that's just because I'm a big nerd and just like to sit there and watch conferences for hours. Uh, but
Nice.
that's
Nerd.
that's how I've always been though. I mean, it's kind of E3's been my Super Bowl because I'm not a sports fan. So it's always been kind of like my time to take some days off and watch some video game trailers, which sounds really stupid saying it out loud, but
Trevor, you should feel bad.
yeah, that's the thing though. I mean, it always happened at a good time of the year because I used to always work retail. So June's the perfect time because nothing's happening. So it was that time of the year that I could take off. I couldn't take time off in November to play the damn games, but I could take off in June to watch people show announce the games. So um, I was allowed to do that. So that's what E3 was to me. So it was cool to kind of have that aspect back again, where we have all these conferences in like this short amount of time. So I figured I doubt that you guys were able to watch as much as I was because you actually you know had real work to do. Uh, so what did Jack? Did you see anything cool going on during E3?
I actually didn't catch a whole lot from it, to be honest.
Which is understandable. I mean, you had a lot going on between work, and like you said, planning a wedding. Congrats, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, so yeah, there's a lot going on in your life, Jack. So, how about you, Kent? Did you see anything that was
So, I mean, yeah, there were definitely a couple games that I was really happy to see. Overall, there wasn't like that one announcement that really blew me away
mm,
this year. Like I was a little disappointed that that didn't happen. I definitely did not watch. I usually watch all the major conferences every year. I did watch the Xbox one this year, and then I kind of caught up on the other ones. But from the looks of it, I didn't actually miss a whole lot on the other
yeah,
ones. So thankfully, I didn't miss anything major. Um, there was a lot of stuff. It was cool to see Starfield, but I really wanted to see more.
yeah,
So that kind of, for me anyway, it felt a little bit flat. I was like, I'm already just, from the pedigree of the developer and like the nature of the game, I'm interested. So what was shown didn't really like further my interest. Like I'm still gonna
hmm
play the game. Um, but yeah, I just wish there had been some more shown. Kind of the one surprise that I really was excited to see was a, a smaller game, but a follow up to Plague Tale.
yeah,
Because I really enjoyed the first one. Like it basically for me, it was what The Last of Us is for other people. Like
mm,
I know I've said it a couple times, and I know it's blasphemous, but like I didn't really like The Last of Us. I just kind of I never beat it. Like I played through a fair amount and just kind of lost interest, and it just didn't feel good to play. But a Plague Tale was that for me. Like it was that kind of narrative, kind of experience, character centric, and I played through the whole thing. I absolutely loved that game. So seeing a follow up was really great, um, even though it's probably a little ways out.
hmm
And um, aside from that, like I'm not a really big racing game fan, so I'm not really gonna play too much of it. But I always love seeing Forza when it comes out or when it's announced. Just because I love seeing like it's pretty much the top tier graphics. Like
yeah,
it is mind-blowing how good some of the visuals, especially the environmental visuals, looked in the trailer. Like, they did the thing where they basically showed like what looked like a fake or like a just a still image, and then all of a sudden the cars would come flying in and it would launch. It would just go right into gameplay, and I thought that was a really cool way of showcasing it. But yeah, it was pretty cool just seeing that. Like I said, just from watching it standpoint. Um, so yeah, I think those were really the big ones for me. Like there were a few other games that I was like, oh cool, like, you know, I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to seeing that. I want to see some more. Um, Still no Splinter Cell. I think I've officially given up on ever seeing a Splinter Cell
Yeah,
again.
man, as much as like they throw Sam Fisher in everything,
Yeah.
but they won't make
Just
a
I
damn Splinter Cell game.
I actually was just like looking at through a list of like announcements from E3, and I was kind of laughing that they actually made an announcement of Splinter Cell, and it ends up being an animated series.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I think at this point they've
Oh,
done
that's awesome.
every other type of media, from mobile
Exactly. Yeah.
games, comic books, like inclusions in other games, like showing up in Rainbow Six, like anything that you could imagine Sam Fisher's been in, except not even like remasters of the original,
No.
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
they
No,
will not
it's
make another game with Sam Fisher.
That's just crazy to me.
yeah, it's uh, curse you,
So,
Ubisoft.
oh, and one other small game that I was excited to actually see now that I think about it. They're bringing the most recent Fatal Frame game to, I think, all consoles. They're
Yeah, I
doing
think
like
so.
a,
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
because before it was a Wii U exclusive, um, and so like 3 people played it, you know.
right.
Yep.
um, even I, who, you know, Genevieve had a Wii U, but like just the idea of hooking it up was already, it was like to the point where I never actually bought the Fatal Frame game because I really like that series. So it was really cool to see that being updated and brought to all the current gen stuff, because I'll definitely want to play. I think it's Made in a Black Water, because I'd never played that one yet. So
Mhm.
that was cool. What
Yeah,
about you, Trevor?
I was pretty surprised to see that. Especially with it being a Wii U only game. I wish there were a couple other Wii U games that Nintendo would actually decide to bring over, because there's only a couple that they haven't. Uh, namely, namely the Zeldas that people want.
Oh yeah.
And like Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. Instead, they give us the one that nobody wants. But hey, that's Nintendo for you. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. I think Microsoft kind of killed it. 27 of the 30 games that they had at the showcase are going to be on Game Pass. So
Yeah, that was kind of crazy when I did see just like the images that they would post on Twitter of like the lineup, and yeah, I was looking through some of those, and there's some really good games they're gonna be releasing there day one.
yeah, it just some of the stuff they got was great. Like they got Ayuden Chronicles, the spiritual successor to the Suikoden games.
Oh,
So
I actually did not realize that's what they were. Like, I was
I
like,
yeah,
oh,
I
that
didn't
game looks cool.
exact
yeah,
yeah, that I thought the same thing. I was like, it looks good. I had no idea there was any sort of relation, yeah, to Suikoden.
yeah. So it's the original creators of
It's really
those
cool.
games. So that's really cool that they got those. Just like there's so much there, and it's weird that the game type that I saw the most announcements for was like that was the PvE 4 player co-op games are like suddenly like back in style again.
Oh,
Redfall.
really?
Yeah, like Redfall, and there was like 5 others just like Back for Blood, like all there's like a ton of them, and I'm just like, holy crap! Like the Rainbow Six Extraction, like there's so many of them. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll be playing co-op shooters for the next couple years.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, battle royales are probably on their way out, so we're on to our next trend, which looks like co-op shooters.
yeah, which I mean, it's like it's funny because like when Left 4 Dead was out, we were like, "Come on, give us more of these," and then they were
Yeah.
like, "No."
Yeah, no
So
one plays these. Yeah.
I actually, as much as I really hope Back for Blood is like super successful, so you can be like, yeah, remember all those times we said give us Left 4 Dead 3? You should have.
right, which
Yep.
I mean, Back 4 Blood is, I mean, it's the same developer, so like I'm pretty sure it's basically just
Oh,
if you
it
look at that and you
totally
look, yeah,
is.
like
Yeah, it's
It's
the
like,
same
hey, we don't
thing.
have the license for that, but we
so
make
yeah,
really
so we'll
enjoyable games, so here you
yeah,
go.
we'll call these monsters different things than what they were called in Left 4 Dead, and just make the same game, but now there's some sort of card system behind it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm
So
down.
so yeah, I mean the fact that like all those games are gonna be on Game Pass though is super great. I'm
It
sure
saved me some money. I was definitely gonna buy it anyway, but now we can. It's
exactly.
I found out actually something that's really nice. Kind of the unsung hero of me for Game Pass is when you are on a multi console household. Game Pass is wonderful because
Mm,
like having to buy two versions, one for me, one for Genevieve, so we could both play. I don't have to do that anymore. Like
yeah,
we either both play on Game Pass, or like if I want the physical copy for my collection, for example, I only got to pay one, and then I use that, and then Genevieve plays.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely a perfect solution for that.
Hmm.
For sure. Yeah, Game Pass is pretty much like the killer app,
You got to be
essentially for.
careful praising it now. I know we've been doing it forever, but now there's that whole like Twitter trend thing about
Yeah,
like,
I saw
did you
that from.
know that Game Pass you can get all these amazing hundreds of amazing games for $9.99? Because I don't know exactly what, but something about people accusing anyone who says they like Game Pass of basically getting money for it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
gladly, Microsoft, we will take your money if you want to give us money to advertise Game Pass. Um, so please do.
we
But
kind of do it anyway.
right, exactly. We're already here doing it. Um, it's they're just doing things right. They're doing it all right at this point. Even even looking at they just opened up their cloud to every Ultimate member now has
Mhm.
access to cloud gaming on PC, and like even I've tried that out a couple times just to I do the Microsoft rewards thing. So sometimes there will be a quest where literally the quest is just, hey, open this game. Um, so instead of having to sit there and wait like an hour for a game to download, I'll just get on the cloud uh, on my PC or on my phone and just pop open the game, and then it'll be like, here's your points.
Nice.
So that sort of thing, and honestly, I use Microsoft rewards to pay for my Game Pass, so I haven't paid for
Yeah,
it,
so do
and
I.
like I don't remember the last time I actually paid for it. So, um, so yeah, Microsoft just gives me the ability to pay for Game Pass without paying for Game Pass. So thank you, Microsoft, and I will continue to pay for but not pay for your Game Pass and
You're
play all
paying
these games.
time,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Um, but yeah, I thought they did a good job. I actually thought Nintendo had a really good showing too. Surprisingly, they pretty much like Nintendo was like, "Hey, Trevor, what games do you like for Nintendo?" And
I missed that part.
good old Mister Nintendo
He
came over
consulted
and was
you
like,
first.
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Wow.
he gave me a phone call a few months ago and was like, "Hey, Trevor, what games do you want to see come to the Nintendo Switch?" And I was like, "Definitely Metroid, definitely WarioWare, and I mean, and Advance Wars would just be icing
That's
on the
the
cake."
one I saw. I was like, you told him
And
Advance Wars 1 and 2.
and that's
Thanks for that,
exactly
Trevor.
That's exactly what they did. I was actually like really surprised to see another 2D Metroid. For one, especially because they've already announced Prime 4. We know that's coming. It's who knows when, but at least
2042.
yeah, it's at least a few years away, I'm sure, or else they'd be showing more of it.
Right.
Uh, so. Uh, so that's why I was surprised to see another 2D entry because we haven't had one since Fusion. Um, which I mean, those games got me through high school at a certain point because I know because our high school was weird where we had like the staggered where like our fourth period was like some kids would go to fourth period and then some would go to lunch and then it would switch to where somewhere the next batch were at lunch and at fourth and then at their fourth period.
Yeah, I
So
remember my school did something similar.
yeah, so I would have my fourth period first. Or yeah, it was something like that. I like basically it ended up where I would wait for my friend Todd to get off because it was our senior year and we could leave after third period or whatever.
Mhm.
Or well after like lunch. So I would have to wait for him to get out of school. So I would sit in the parking lot in my car on my Game Boy Advance playing like Metroid, um, pretty much playing Metroid and Castlevania on my Game Boy Advance while waiting for him to get out of class so that we could go play Halo at his house. Um, that's that's pretty much
Come on, man! I want to go play games. I'm sick of sitting here playing games.
right. Yeah. So, but that was that was my senior year of high school right there, in a nutshell. So much so that I know my last trimester I was supposed to have a 6 period class, and I had it for one day, and I was like, I can't stay here this long anymore. And then I just I got it switched and and never ended up doing another full day of school at that point. So uh, it's just one of those things. But yeah, it was really cool to see them announce a new 2G Metroid. It was really cool to see another WarioWare because I love those games. Like those games are just really fun to play, and they're great multiplayer games. So I think that'll be something cool to play with a group of people that we can now like get together nowadays, as long as everybody's vaccinated and all that stuff. So
Lies. We'll have our next pandemic here shortly. Don't worry.
yeah, probably. It'll happen the day that that's released. Everybody will be sad.
The WarioWare plague.
Um, and then yeah, I was super surprised to see them doing a remake of the Advance Wars games because it just seemed for the longest time that I don't know how well they did in the past. I'm gonna guess probably not super well, or else we'd have seen them sooner. They certainly didn't take the road of Fire Emblem, where Fire Emblem got super popular.
Right, yeah,
And
it wasn't nearly as successful. I think they had that didn't they have a spin-off on the GameCube that was more like an
yeah,
RTS
yeah, it was
almost?
Battalion Wars. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that
that
was
one.
it.
Yeah, and
yeah.
after
So
that, it sort of died.
yeah, because they did a couple on Game Boy and then they did a couple on DS, and then
Oh yeah, Dual Strike, I remember that one. That
yeah,
was
there was
good.
Dual Strike and there was I think Days of Ruin maybe. I know there was a second one, but I can't remember if Days of Ruin was it or not. But either way, like I was very surprised to see them come back to it. So hopefully this one does well enough to actually bring them back full time. And I think it's like the Switch has that unique thing since it's both a console and a handheld that I think it works for that too, especially because these were originally handheld games and
Right.
people can still play them on the go. So yeah, but I mean those games were hard though. I will say, like those games were actually pretty tough. So we'll see how people take to them.
Yeah, they
Um,
were really good. Do you know, did they say what like a price point would be for that?
I think
Because
it's
I,
60,
is it
but
60?
Always
it's
Okay.
for
60.
both.
Yeah,
So
it's just like some of these remasters, like I love that they remade Advance Wars and like I like recently, I think it was Nocturne. It
Mm,
was a Shimigami
yeah.
yeah,
Tensei
yeah, yeah.
Nocturne.
Mhm.
How they like remade all those, but yeah, it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow to pay $60 for each of those.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is that, especially on the Switch, they're a bit more expensive because of that stupid cart. Because that
Oh,
cart
okay.
ends up being more expensive, and then they can't like they don't want to like obviously price the cart different from the digital version.
Yeah, from digital.
So it's so unfortunately it's like you have to pay cart prices for all because they went with their proprietary cart that costs more money than anything else. So that is the sucky part about Nintendo's business model. Plus, they're Nintendo, and they know they can charge whatever the hell they want, and people will still buy it.
Mm.
So that's just what Nintendo do. But yeah, I thought it was just cool to see them bring back some stuff from the past, and some stuff I think that people, that I think some hardcore Nintendo fans would really be clamoring for, in that. And I was like, all right, yeah, you like for me that had like no expectations going into uh, Nintendo's event. Not even like I was like, all right, it'll be, whatever. Probably I won't care about most of this, but I actually came out caring about a whole lot of what they're doing.
That's what happens when they call you on the phone, apparently.
Yeah, I just had to call you.
Well, yeah, I was, I talked to Mr. Nintendo for a little bit, and he was very into that. So, you're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
Unless you have different taste than Trevor.
I'm like, yeah,
Then you're
and
probably
then
very disappointed.
Then you're very angry.
and then
all
I'm
you
so
wanted
sorry, guys.
was Splatoon 3. Wait, 2, 3, 4?
Three
think
Next
is
Splatoon.
coming.
2 have
Like,
been out, yeah.
Yeah, two have
Okay.
been out. Yeah, yeah. Splatoon 3 is coming, I think.
Yeah, I have
Pretty
no
sure they
idea.
announced it, but yeah, that's that's Nintendo. Um, but yeah, there were some other good shows like peppered in there too. Like there was like a wholesome game show, which was like 75 indies that were shown off. That was pretty good. A lot of stuff there to check out. Uh, there was like the PC gaming show and stuff and other shows like that had some cool stuff going. So there's a lot of stuff to actually go back and watch if for people that haven't gone back and watched. I would also tell you to stay away from the Koch or Coke Media stream. Do not watch it. It is boring as hell, and um, it's like a weird stream because apparently like they were showing like actual game footage to the press behind like closed doors essentially,
Hmm.
but then they put together this presentation which was all like interviews with developers, but it wasn't like but they didn't show any game footage. Like they were just like random interviews with them about different like they were talking to the dude doing like I want to say it was either Crusader Kings or Kingdom Come Deliverance was just like they're talking about their new soap line or something.
Weird.
And like yeah, but it ended up being like this 2 hour thing with different developers just talking. Um with no like visual context for what their game is or anything like that. So it was just kind of it's like what really what they should have been doing was showing what they showed the press from like the games standpoint. It was just this weird thing. Um, but yeah, there were some weird decisions made, but when it comes to that, so but it's our first time doing that, so
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't an easy year to start off with, too, with not being able to just be there, like.
yeah. So it was just kind of like one of those like why would they just show this and not but hey, uh people made decisions, people made weird ones. But yeah, there's a lot going on. The Jeff Keighley had his thing, his Summer of Games thing, which showed off, Elden Ring was the big show off piece for that.
I know
Uh
Moody was happy to see that.
yeah, I was gonna say like
Had his breath of oxygen.
yeah, so I mean if you're into Souls games, like it kind of looks like Souls Zelda in a sense, in a weird way. Um But it seemed pretty interesting, but like I probably will not play it because I'm terrible at those games. So
I think I've finished. I've hit full saturation. I could probably like the same thing happened to me basically with platformers, where like I could go forever without and never playing another Souls game
Yeah.
and be totally fine with it. Like they've kind of oversaturated it for me.
You're soulsed out.
Yeah, I'm just like I love the idea. Like I always play on difficult, like the highest difficulty. So like I
Yeah.
still like the idea of that. But as far as just like the exact Souls type of combat, I'm just like I've done it. Like it's
Right.
I really want them to go back to the more fast-paced Atogi style combat, which is even more difficult. Actually, Nier is very Atogi-esque in its
Mm.
if you're playing it on the difficult, like the highest difficulty, just kind of the fast-paced action-based reminds me a lot of it. But yeah, like I'm really happy to see, like, because I know there's still huge communities of that, especially like Moody or my friend Antoine. Or so it's cool that they're still working on those and bringing out a lot
Mm.
for people that are still into them. But like personally, I'm just it's kind of like basically Souls like, um, platformers, and battle royale are like the three that I'm just are in my bucket of I don't really ever need to look at you again. The one
Yeah.
caveat with platformers is I'm extremely excited for Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, that did look really
Yes.
good.
Like I loved Psychonauts. In fact, I've been on that like I don't really care about platformers for many years now, and like the last time I really played and enjoyed one was Psychonaut, the original
Mm.
Psychonauts. So
Yeah, Mel's actually playing that right now, so I get to like relive and like remember all the funny scenes in it.
yeah, I think I want to go back and replay as well before the sequel comes out, because it's been what, like 20 years
Yeah, it's been quite a long time since
Yeah.
almost.
the last one.
Not quite, but yeah, it's been almost that long. I think it came out in what, 05, so like 16 years. So
Yeah, I knew I
Was
was in
it
high school
05?
when it came out.
Yeah. So yeah, 15, 16, long time.
yep. And 2 comes out in August, I think. So
Yeah, I'm
On
looking
so
Game
forward
not.
to playing
Pass.
that.
Yep, another one on Game Pass. So and the original's on Game Pass right now. So there's kind of no excuse to go and try it out for anybody that hasn't. But yeah, I thought there was some good stuff at E3 this year. So
Yeah, it was more just kind of like rather than I felt anyway, rather than like needing to watch the shows, I just kind of like absorbed it this year more by like going and just going, oh yeah, here's a couple games I want to watch a trailer to.
yeah.
So that was for me, that was the big difference between this year and years past. Is like rather than sitting down and watching the trailer or sitting down and watching the conferences, I just kind of like pick and chose what I wanted to
Mm,
watch. And honestly, like I think that's a side effect of last year. Like a lot of the conferences were just so dry. Like
yeah.
I found Ubisoft's conferences to be just worse and worse every year, to the point where I don't even watch them anymore. Like I'll still watch
I would
the
yeah
games,
I would
but not
actually
the
say
conference.
their conference like a couple weeks ago was better than
Okay,
it
yeah.
had been in the past couple years
Oh,
because
good.
they kind of stuck to just like, hey, we're just going to show the games and let them like do their thing there. So it was definitely better
Oh,
than it
good.
had been in the past. And actually, I almost forgot they announced the sequel to Mario and Rabbids, um,
Mm.
which kind of it looks like it's more space themed, as if it's like taking place during like Super Mario Odyssey. So I'm actually
Oh, okay.
pretty stoked to play more of that because those games were really fun. Or that original game was super good. So
Oh yeah, speaking of tactics, there was one game I kind of forgot because I think it got announced like technically before E3, but Metal Slug Tactics
yeah,
is
I did
gotta
see about that, yeah.
the best idea that should have happened so long ago. But like, I anything tactics I love, but just the way that they were able to capture like the look of Metal Slug, but in the tactical
mm,
setting. So, when the people died, and like I love Metal Slug, I love tactics, so I am beyond excited for that game. Like I cannot wait to play.
yeah. I was I saw the trailer for that. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah. We played a lot of Metal Slug growing up on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Such a good system.
It was still my favorite handheld of all time. Until a different handheld can get Card Fighters Clash,
Card Fighters Clash.
there will not
yep.
be. It is not as good as the Neo Geo Pocket Color.
No, I mean they made one on I think it was the 3DS has one, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same Card Fighters Clash.
They need the exact game.
Yeah, pretty much just a direct port,
Just port
of
it.
that game.
Yeah, no, dude, that game
it was so good.
I can't overstate how good it was.
Yeah, it's the best card game I've ever played.
Yeah.
All right, so
and I love Magic, but it was the best.
all right, so with that, everybody, go play some Card Fighters Clash for the Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Probably only cost you a couple $100 to get one off eBay.
Right? Man, probably. Yeah, I don't even know. Man, it might be more than that at this point, depending on how hard it is to find. Not sure. But yeah, I think that'll do it for us this week. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank everybody for listening, watching, however you're checking us out. We'll have more on the game in the coming weeks, more on whatever's going on, that sort of thing. So we appreciate you and your patience in between episodes as we try to work on a game as well as do this kind of thing. So uh, we'll be back as soon as we possibly can. Hopefully, it's not.
And if you're if you're one of our Kickstarter backers, make sure you check your email and or the Kickstarter page, because the most recent update was an important one with we need your input. So shirts, lots and lots of
Absolutely, yeah.
shirts.
Yeah, we got some shirt designs up there for you to vote on, and yeah, they came out really awesome actually. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
can't wait.
can't pick, so we're making you do it.
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what's going on. But yeah, anyway, make sure to if you change your mind and just got just pre-ordered the game or something through Backer Kit through our Kickstarter, you can still get a shirt through the Backer Kit store on externusgame.com. Just click go to the store, and you can do that and add the shirt if you would like to do that. And
Just
we
do it
appreciate.
sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
We will be
S-
closing those before too long.
yeah. So it won't be too long until we do that. But we appreciate everybody that's backed us, everybody that has paid attention to us, everybody that listens to this uh, and pays attention to anything that we do. We really greatly appreciate it. So thank you guys. Thank you, Kat and Jack, for being on this week. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.